What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're all doing well today. We are back on some MX bikes and today we've got a bit of a different situation to normal. That's not the best of starts in the world. Also, rate the drip, by the way. I think this setup looks hella litty, big fan. I've been really enjoying the Fantic 252 stroke as of late, so you'll probably see me riding it a little bit here and there. I rode it on Trentino the other day and then I rode it on the GP of Spain as well, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. It really does feel like you're just absolutely barking a two-stroke around the track, so that's what we're going to be doing. So, this is, as I said, a bit of a different situation. So there are two, let's just call them tracks, uploaded to the MX Bike shop. One is Moorlands MX and Valley MX, and the second one is Sandbox MX. And if you buy one, you get the other one for free. So on the surface, it's originally like a two for one special, but then I suppose it ends up being a 3 for 1 special because there's just 3 tracks in total. So what we're going to be doing here is hopefully not jumping off the track again. Oh my Christ, this bike does not want to stop in the wet. Is we're going to be going through all 3 tracks, and based on screenshots, I'm going to be saving the one that I'm most excited for last. So in order, we're going to be going for the Moorlands MX, which is essentially a practice track, and these are all real life tracks, by the way. After that, we're going to be going to Valley MX, which is right next door to this one, and then after that, we're going to be going to Sandbox. Now, I believe all 3 of them, possibly not. I think it might just be these 2 actually. As you can see, I don't know how well YouTube does it justice, but there is a rain overlay, which is really, really cool, and the track does feel just a tiny bit slippery. It doesn't feel ridiculously slippery. It could just even be placebo from the look and the shine and the reflections off the ground, making it look all wet. I believe all of these are soft soil types, except for the last one. The last one is sand, which is why I'm quite excited, and also a reason why I chose the Fantic. Oh, I was going to see if you can double that. I don't think that's a thing. Also, the reason why I chose the Fantic for this 2-stroke, just because I imagine 2 strokes around sand is a really, really good time. So this track is meant to be very basic, very, very straightforward. There's only about 12 start gates, because that's what it's like IRL. However, there are 40 pit lanes, so if this is in an online server, you can get 40 people in to just ride around. You just won't all be able to get on the gate to race, which doesn't really bother me at all. I'm fine with that. I feel like this will be one of them tracks that he will just hop in and testing now and then for the most part. I think the other 2 are the ones that will probably see some server side of things. And I did want to say, if I sound a little bit off, I think I'm coming under the weather a little bit. In yesterday's video, I was talking about how I just felt very run down and tired, and I thought maybe I was just having an off day, but it's been exactly the same thing again today, and I've been laid in bed most of the day with just getting like hot and cold flushes, going from shivering to sweating. But I took my temperature and I don't have a high temperature at all, so I've got no idea what that's about. But I do have the beginnings of a sore throat. Maybe COVID's come back for a second attempt at me after all this time. If that's still a thing, do people still get COVID nowadays, or is it all just classed as getting a cold or anything? But yeah, I feel a little bit rough. So if my voice sounds off slightly, or maybe if you hear a little bit of sniffling here and there, I do apologise. I'm only human. These things happen, but the show must go on. The content must continue. And I mean, at the end of the day, I still managed to go to the gym today, so I'm happy with myself in that regards. Although it wasn't very pretty. I was sweating a lot more than usual. Although I have changed my my workouts a little bit. I think I've been doing way too much in terms of volume recently, so I'm kind of toning it down a bit, and I'm just going for heavier, less volume. So we'll see how that goes. And I said in the group chat the other day, because both Dad Shoes and Reese, they're quite big gym heads, they know their stuff, is when I kind of originally wanted to get into this whole working out, lifting weights, eating better stuff, I thought the exercise would be the hard part, but it turns out that it's actually the food side of things. I've definitely been under-eating. I mean, it's fine. I've lost a good amount of weight since I started, but I want to get bigger and stronger, as well as getting more toned with less body fat. So I do need to be in a slight calorie surplus, but it's very, very hard to eat lots of the right food, you know, keep it high protein. So that's kind of the bit I'm struggling with at the moment. But, just throwing it out there, Dad, absolute legend, decided, he threw the offer out there of meal prepping for me. So, you know what, I'm going to take up the opportunity of that. So your boy's probably going to be living off like ground turkey, ground beef, chicken, rice, broccoli, all the usual staples. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to start force feeding myself a little bit just to get enough calories in, but off the right food. Because I don't want to just start eating crap and going back to how I used to. I had I wouldn't even call it a cheat day the other day. It's just one of them. I had you know, like just a store-bought pizza. It's not like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut or Papa John's, anything like that. Just a normal store-bought pizza. And even after having that, at the end of the day, I was only on 1,400 calories. And I burn 2,500 just by existing. So it's way, way too little for what I should be consuming. So I do need to put more of an effort into that. But yeah, today was quite good. The gym was very, very round. And I had to... So we've only got one flat bench press in my gym, which is annoying. I have no idea why that's a thing. I think there should be at least 2 or 3. And then right next to it, they got an incline. Or decline one, sorry, not incline. Basically where your head's below your ass, not the other way around. So I had to go on that one, and it just felt so weird. I like having the stability of having my feet pressed against the floor. I'm not hitting the old McDonald's arches, back arches like you see online, where people have like a 2-inch range of motion and they're not actually pushing anything. I do like to focus on form and do it properly, so it was quite weird doing decline for the very first time. But the weight moved pretty decently. Whilst being ill, I was quite happy with that. This is like the 4th lap in a row I've jumped off this part of the track, so all good. Even though I've been under the weather a little bit, it was still just kind of a same old session. I feel like it kind of similar to how my races go. If I feel absolutely garbage in the lead up to a race, I tend to do quite well in the race, and if I feel good leading up to it, I tend to do very, very bad. So maybe that applies to everything. As you can see, this track is very, very basic. Lap times are under a minute, nothing too special, but it is a practice track at the end of the day. And I've crashed and made it look bad enough times, so let's go over to something a little bit more difficult, which is going to be Valley MX, which I believe is just next door to this one, IRL, and should give us a little bit more of a challenge. I thought I just messed up then for a second. I spawned in exactly the same place without realising that these tracks are literally right next to each other. There's a 4th track in the mix, by the way, which I completely forgot to mention, which doesn't have timing gates at all. We can see it right here that I'm on top of. It's essentially like a sandy kind of turn track. Probably not going to bother with it since there's no timing gates at all, but it's nice knowing that it's not just a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1 special, it's technically a 4. So if that's something that you're into, feel free to do that. And if this is how close the tracks are, IRL, that's pretty cool. It's kind of a nice little complex area, but I have a feeling that that isn't actually the case, and he's just put these close together for just convenience in-game. So that looks like a takeoff there, so I guess the track is going to be going this way. And I've realised, I haven't even mentioned who made the tracks. These are all created by Slabs710, as you can see right there on the site. Someone who I've played quite a few tracks by up to this point too, and really good, enjoyable tracks. So it's one of them where as soon as people release one track that I really enjoy, kind of have this this standard above their heads the entire time. And looking up at this track map compared to the other one, you can already tell this one seems quite a bit more, I don't say intense, but just a little bit more difficult. Loops back a few more times. It's definitely a longer track than the minute-long practice track we done. Now, having not ridden or seen this track IRL, I can only guess that it's kind of sandy-ish based. Very, very strange. So there's no ruts per se. They're all just kind of like built-up bankings or berms. But one thing that I love about this channel and you guys as a whole is it doesn't seem to matter what track we ride that is a track from IRL. There always seems to be somebody in the comments that has ridden that track. It doesn't matter what part of the globe we're in. We could ride a random track in Thailand and there'd be someone in the comments that's ridden there before, which is always, it's quite funny, it's quite humorous to me. But yeah, if you've ridden this track, as I always ask in these replica videos, let me know. Has the track creator done a decent job? I'm guessing it's a track that is very, very fast paced. IRL, very, very wide open. And oh, that's a bit more of a stretch than I thought. Doing the old Lynn's trait of scrubbing something where he doesn't know just how big the jump is. We'll see what sort of lap times we're rocking with here. I think it looks like a track that's quite easy to go fast on, but also very easy just to push it that tiny bit too far and get the back end to step out when you don't want it to. Oh, front end please. And hug this inside. It looks like the insides are a little bit OP, where they're just banked just like the outsides are. Don't see much of a reason to go around the outsides at all, so that's just something to bear in mind. And oh god, Slabs has also told me, well, I say told me, told everybody on his post on the shop, that apparently 1.4 erode is where the track starts to break down really, really nicely, which is a very, very specific number, and it's what I've got it on here. I'm guessing he means in an online lobby with more than just one person, because I can barely see my my own rut at all. So again, there's so many tracks that have been coming out recently, and whenever I next do a public stream, which might be this weekend, depends how I feel, depends how this, I'm not going to call it an illness, because I just feel a tiny bit under the weather, we'll see how it progresses. Yeah, depending on how I feel, maybe Saturday or Sunday, we'll see if we can get a public lobby going. Charlie asked me when we was leaving the gym the other day, I think he said that he's about Saturday evening, but I struggle on Saturdays, because we always have the Supercross qualifying, and it's quite awkward to try and plan around it, because sometimes it goes on for quite a long time. And I think it might even be a day race this week. So I'll have to check, see what times everything's happening. If the races... Oh, actually no, because I think last time it was a day race. The races still went on quite late into the evening for me, being from the UK. So... might end up being a Sunday. Sorry, Charlie. We'll see. It's all up in the air. But yeah, I owe you guys a public stream. It's been a little while, been a hot minute. It should probably be something I do like once a week or once a fortnight. But I already... There we go. Okay, that didn't go too well. I already have some days where it comes like Monday or Friday when I'm doing the official races where I'm like, oh, I don't want to stream. I just want to sit and play the game in silence and not try and put much effort in, but then I kind of always am rewarded for going live because everyone's always very, very nice and very supportive. And I think it's been quite a while since we've had just a straight up troll or a straight up arsehole comments, which isn't a sign for everyone to go and start being a twat. So be nice still, be nice to each other, and that's something that I've noticed even in my Discord a lot recently is lots and lots of new people to the game, lots of questions that people have answered time and time again, but of course new people have no idea about. So we've got a help channel in there where people are very, very nice and very helpful. And just thank to everyone for making it a really nice community. I know I say it time and time again, but I do enjoy the little community that we've built up over this time. I had a little scroll through earlier today, and I had no idea we're at, it was either 3,200 or 3,400-ish members in that Discord, which is quite crazy to me. I didn't expect it to get that big that quickly, but I suppose it's one of them things that needed to be made. So again, thank you Smigdamp again for finally, well, I say finally, for making me get my bum into gear and getting around to sorting it all out, even though it was 99% your work. It's one of the things where if ever I'm like, okay, I need a lobby full of people on this track to do this concept, just put out a quick little ping, and we always manage to get 10 plus people in a server pretty damn quickly. Whereas back in the day, if I needed to get that many people, it would be pretty damn difficult. I'd do like a YouTube announcement, which not everybody sees or gets notifications for. So I'm very glad with where we are right now, and if you haven't joined the Discord and you want to do so, it's always down in the description. I believe that link should still be working okay. I had it before where it was a custom link, then like the server boosting ran out, so then the custom link didn't exist anymore. Hello Fat Muppet, I didn't expect to see that. A Fat Muppet banner, I say banner, you know what I mean, inflatable around here, and an Earthworks one. I guess all these track creators kind of work side by side with each other, giving each other tips and help and testing and so on. But yeah, join the Discord, it's down below. I've been waffling enough. So this was the second track. Again, it's not a difficult track by any means, it's very fast. I would ideally like it to just be a little bit on the rougher side, just something a little bit more challenging, because I think it could be quite easy for your brain just to shut off or to feel unengaged by it. There's one or two jumps where you can get a little bit steezy on for sure, and I probably would not recommend going above a 252 stroke. I think 450 around here would be incredibly boring. You do want to keep things on the lower CC side so you can just hold that right trigger open and rip the bike and rip it. But yeah, let's move on to the one that I'm most excited for. We'll see if this one's rain as well. I don't think it is, which is Sandbox MX. And yeah, let's just get into it. So 3 is the magic number, and which way do we get that? Is a takeoff, round to the left, go this way, okie dokie. And this one, just from the screenshots alone, is the one that I'm most excited for. I think the sand textures look really, really nice. I don't believe that this is all different heights at all that you can see here. I think this is all just to do with the decals and the norm map and the shading. So very, very pretty. And I've been enjoying my sand tracks recently, especially after riding oh my god, JV's Sardinia. Maybe I'm going through the menopause with these hot and cold flushes. Maybe I'm a woman at heart. It's 2023. I can be whatever I want to be. Oh, getting baby brain now. Can't even talk properly. I'm getting very, very warm sitting here recording this as well. I am getting a little bit of a sweat on, but you know what? God gives the hurtiest of tummies to his strongest of soldiers. And Something like that. I think that's a meme I've seen somewhere on Instagram before. So, well, soldier on. It's not the end of the world. I can't really complain, can I? Sitting here playing video games for a living with a slight ailment. People out there going to war and fighting for their lives, or being scared that they won't have a home to go to the next day in some parts of the world. So I really can't complain. Life's not all that bad. We're in a pretty good spot right now, when the only thing that I have to worry about is recording some MX Bites content and making sure I get enough calories and protein in for the day, and then going to the gym. Could be a hell of a lot worse. So the layout of this track at the top right looks a whole lot more simple than the last one. However, if I know sand tracks, I know that they're definitely not as easy as meets the eye. So we're going to have to see if we can get a nice flow going around here without losing the back or front end everywhere, because it is sand traction. I can hear it underneath me, which you probably can't hear in the YouTube videos, just to do with the audio levels from the game and me talking over top and hearing the bike too. But yeah, if you ride on sand in this game, it sounds very different to any other soil type. It doesn't sound pleasant by any means. I don't know why it's still something in the game, but maybe another suggestion to throw Boso's way for probably the next update in 2025. I did throw a suggestion out to him the other day, which everyone's probably going to hate me for if it ever does get implemented, although it would be a rare occasion to see it anyway, is I thought, so after my East Rutherford round, or replica race in the rain, someone said like a tear-off system would be cool in the comments. So what I proposed to Mr. Proposer is it'd be nice if, when the weather conditions are set to rainy, so when you get like rain constantly appearing on your screen, it'd be nice if we had tear-off system rather than a... Let me backtrack, that was completely incorrect. It'd be nice to have a roll-off system rather than a tear-off system, where you get more uses of the rip-offs. Am I alright? So you get more uses of the roll-offs as opposed to you do to tear-offs. You get about 22. But maybe in like the peripheral of your vision, you still have that dirt and rain build up, and it's only like the centre of your screen, like a centre strip, as if you was to have a roll-off IRL that you can see through. I just feel like that'd be cool from an immersion standpoint, or maybe make it a option that you can choose if you want roll-offs or tear-offs, because I know people will be like, oh well, I run tear-offs in the rain anyway, not roll-offs, so I don't want that, which is fair enough. A lot of tracks in the UK actually are starting to ban tear-offs over time, just because a lot of the tracks end up having like cattle and stuff on them afterwards when they're not in use. So roll-offs seem to be the way forwards. I really don't like them IRL. I think that they mess up my peripheral vision like completely. Even just the canisters on the side, I can see out the corner of my eye. I like having a wide field of view. I don't know if that applies to anybody else. And I've got some Scott Prospects, and they're pretty damn good. They are quite a wide one. Like, I don't even know the exact model of them, but they're kind of the best ones that I've had for now, at least. And they're all right. I just much prefer my tear-offs. So any track that does allow them, tear-offs straight away. Unfortunately, that's not always the case in a lot of tracks in the UK. So roll-offs might become the new norm slowly over time. But yeah, I'd like to see that in the game, in the same way that I would like to have a mudder in each series. Now, I saw screenshots from Mr. JV at EarnA, well, the EarnA GP that he's making for the next round, and I saw some puddles. I saw some rain. Unfortunately, I think that might just be the case for the qualifying track, not the actual racetrack. If the racetrack's wet and muddy and rutty and difficult, I'm going to be a very, very happy man. As you know, I adore EarnA. I don't know what it is. Every single version of that track in whatever game I've played, I've absolutely loved. I don't know what it is in Sim, in MXGP, in bikes. I remember Jesse released an EarnA version not that long ago that a lot of people hated because it's very, very difficult. There's a lot of Poboso moments, a lot of front end tucks, but I just really, really enjoy it. I don't know what it is. It's just one of them tracks. So if it is wet as well in the race version, I'm probably the only GP track I'll play for the rest of time, outside of the rest of the series, of course. And I'll probably go into it quite confident. I feel like it'll have a Barsha-esque vibe to it, where I know I'm pretty good in the rain and more slower conditions on this game. Probably, again, the reason why I've done quite well in Spain, and the track wasn't just wide open everywhere, it was a little bit more technical. You had to pick your lines better, especially when it got rough and the ruts got skinnier and deeper. I just love that sort of racing. Again, I'm in the minority. I know a lot of people just like going wide open everywhere. Quite like this track. This track is Very, very fast, very wide open. Again, not difficult at all. All 3 tracks that I've played today have been very, very easy. So if you are kind of beginnerish, intermediate level, like I always say, this track is probably worth downloading 100%. As I say this one, you get all 3 of them anyway. So I think the minimum is $2, and that spans for all 3, but it's one of them name your price things. So if you are particularly fond of Slabs' work, you can pay more if you want to, or just keep it at that $2. It's really up to you. But I think it's very, very interesting. It's an interesting way of approaching things, I think, of just releasing multiple tracks. If I feel like if I was in his position and I was making like good quality tracks, I'd probably milk it. I'd probably have them as like separate releases, a couple of weeks apart. But I mean, hats off to him. He obviously cares in some respect about us. Otherwise, he would just split them all up and do them one by one. I don't think, to be fair, the practice track and the turn track of what I've seen, I've not played it, I don't think they would be worth putting up as solo tracks anyway, so I think it is a good thing that he's combined some of them together. But the Valley MX and this one as well, absolutely, why not? I don't see any reason why. This one has definitely got to be my favourite one by far, and I think, is that a full gate? Can't see how many gates there were. I mean, there's a decent amount of start gates there, so this could be a very good track for races. But I do have the Erodon 1.4 still, and can you see anywhere where I've been already? I mean, we're on lap 4, so there should be at least 3 other lines dotted around the track. And I don't know if it's just where the shadows and like the norm mapping is so heavy on the ground, where it's got those kind of like fake ruts or fake loam. Maybe that's covering it. Maybe that's why you can't see it. But yeah, even going into some of these like banked corners where I feel like I've probably taken the same line every single lap, just can't really see it. So maybe I'll be, if you do race this one and get it a little bit on the rough side, crank it up to the max, you know, slap in like a 3 or a 4 road in there as well. Live life on the edge a bit, be a little bit edgy. But you know what? I'm probably going to have to start dabbing my forehead in a second from how much I'm sweating in this room. So I am going to end it there. I'm going to love you and leave you. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, as always. Hopefully I get over whatever this is in the next few days and we can get a nice enjoyable live stream on the weekend. Definitely stop by and check it out. And so this goes, oh god, what's the date today? It's Thursday. This goes up on Friday. So catch you later today for the Supercross race, whatever round it is, I actually have no idea. And I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.